Want to know how you rate as a leader? In this video, I'm going to show you the ultimate guide to leadership skills assessment. Hi there, my name is Danny, and if you're watching this video, you're probably like me and want to be the best leader possible. You probably also want to know how you stand in that pursuit. Well, this video will help with that. I'm going to show you the ultimate guide of going through the leadership skills assessment process, so stay tuned. There's going to be some really helpful stuff. For any leader looking to improve their leadership skill set, a leadership skills assessment is an important part of that process. In my last video, 5 Steps to Being a Better Leader, I discussed how that's the foundation or the first step in the process to you elevating your skill set. If you hadn't had a chance to watch that video, here's a link to it right here. Assessing leadership skills can be a tricky endeavor, and this is because leadership qualities are not a one-size-fits-all. When you go through an assessment process, whether it's a self-assessment or a review like a 360-degree review, pretty much the participant is going through and answering a series of questions, and the data or responses and the results received are based on their perceptions, their inferences, and their ability to be able to articulate or communicate what they're being asked about. And so when you're doing an assessment, you got to really be holistic about your approach around it and look at several different things and put things in perspective. And remember, these assessments, the results of these assessments are pretty much a guideline to give you an idea of where you want to put your development efforts into, and don't take it to heart. Leadership skills assessments are an important part of helping us determine, okay, how do people see me? What do I notice about myself? And what can I do to get better? But you got to really take it with a grain of salt. It's a good foundation. It's a good guide, but it's not concrete. It's not the end of the world. And it's not something that you should take in a negative light. Anything that's identified through an assessment that tells you, okay, I probably can do better on that, it should be a win. It should be a nugget, and it should feel good. And so with that said, let's talk about how you can actually go through the process of finding assessments and completing them. To get the most complete, accurate, and holistic evaluation of your leadership skill set, you want to approach assessment in 2 phases. One phase of the leadership assessment process is a self-assessment. The self-assessment is a process where you go through and you answer a series of questions about your leadership abilities and your aptitude. And the results of the assessment is really dependent on how honest, transparent, and accurate you are with the responses. There are 2 ways you can get a self-assessment. You can pay for a self-assessment, or you can find one online for free. For some of you, paying for a self-assessment might be a turnoff, but there are actually some benefits to making that investment. For one, the questionnaires and the infrastructure and the whole assessment process tends to be a higher quality when you pay a company to conduct a self-assessment for you. 2, many of these companies that you pay to take assessment have ongoing support and communication, which can help you with your ongoing development and growth as a leader. And then finally, a lot of these paid programs have give you access to tools and resources to help you develop the skills that are identified as opportunities from their assessments. If you're considering making the investment and paying for a self-assessment, there are 3 very well-known and popular programs out there. In fact, I have used each of the 3 at some point in my career in the past. All right, so the first assessment is the DISC assessment, and DISC is an acronym that stands for Dominance, Influence, Steadiness, and Conscientiousness. And this company offers primarily personality assessments, but they do have a leadership program called Works for Leaders Profile. That's their self-assessment that currently runs for $135 at the time of this video. The second one is the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, or the MBTI. This company also offers different personality tests, but they also have some leadership assessments, and many of their assessments run for under $100, so very reasonable. And then the third one is the Gallup's Clifton Strengths. They recently changed their name from their program from Strength Finders to Clifton Strengths, but they have 2 very popular and well-used programs. One is Clifton Strengths for managers, and the second one is Clifton Strength for leaders. And that program, both of those programs currently run for $39.99. So very reasonable price programs widely used, and you have the backing of these companies if you choose to make that investment. So if you're unable or unwilling to pay for an assessment, that's absolutely okay, because there are tons of free options out there. A simple online search of the term free leadership assessments, and you'll get page after page of potential assessments that you can take. And the good thing about them being free and being online is you got quick access to them, and you can take as many as you like. That way you can see which ones you prefer over others, or you can take multiple ones and answer questionnaires and go through the process from different ones and kind of compare the results so that you can put together a more holistic review of your self-evaluation. The other option you might want to consider or check into is check with your employer, because many employers offer development programs, and part of that development program, particularly leadership development programs, are assessment processes. The ones that I've taken with Clifton Strings and the Meyer-Briggs, as well as the DIS assessment over the years, I've never paid for them. My employers pay for that as part of my development. Matter of fact, they put it in front of me and said, hey, we want y'all to do this as leaders to help with y'all development. And so go to your employer, see if that's an option. But regardless of what you do, whether you do paid, you do online, and you get the support of your employer, the whole premise is to do something to self-evaluate yourself so that you can get that perspective as you work on to the next step, which is your development plan. The other phase of a complete leadership skills assessment is seeking external feedback. And now you can do this in several different ways, and you should do this in several different ways. Here's how. The first place you can go to get feedback is from your current manager or supervisor. They should be able to tell you from their perspective everything that you want to know about your ability to be a good leader, because they see you day in and day out. And matter of fact, if you've been under their supervision for any amount of time, you actually probably have formal mid-year, quarterly, or annual reviews that you can use as a base point for your assessment with them. You can also reach out to previous managers and leaders. So if you have a previous leader that you still keep in contact with or still works in an organization, you're just not working for them, they are a good source of feedback as well. The second place you definitely want to go, which can be difficult sometimes, is reaching out to your peers and your colleagues. And so if you have people that you work side by side all the time that kind of see you and witness you and get to observe you on a regular basis, they are a great source of feedback. They can see your blind spots that you probably not even aware of. They can probably identify some of the strengths that you probably don't even realize are your strengths. And so don't ignore your peers, colleagues, as well as your employees. Your employees, they get the taste of what your leadership is about. And so if you find the ones that are willing to give you honest feedback, and you create that environment where they feel comfortable giving it to you, that can be a gold mine of information and assessment to help you develop and grow as a leader. And then the great thing about getting feedback is there's already an established process called the 360-degree review. Now, a 360-degree review is really an assessment designed to capture feedback from all levels of engagement that you might have. So from your employees and teams that work for you, to your peers and colleagues that work laterally with you, alongside of you, as well, of course, from senior leaders, your manager and other senior leaders that might have exposure to you. Most of these assessments are, as well, you get to pick the participants, or you send the participants invites in a formal digital process, and they accept the invite if they want to, and they give you feedback through a list of questionnaires. And that's the other great benefit of 360 degrees, or at least the formal ones, is that the participants in most cases can reply and respond anonymously, so that you can get more open and candid feedback, which is what you definitely want. You don't want feedback that's sugar-coated. The higher quality 360-degree review assessments are mostly software systems and digital platforms made by companies such as Survey Sparrow or SurveyMonkey. These can actually be kind of costly for an individual because of the intricacies of the system. What these systems tend to do is it allows you as the end user to be able to tell it who you want to take the survey. It sends out the invites. The participants can take that survey, of course, anonymously. And then that system correlates all the responses and gives you an end report that you can use to analyze or assess your leadership abilities. And you can take that feedback and build your development plan. So if you're kind of concerned about the cost of these, because they can be kind of costly, check with your employer. Like I said, with the self-assessments, many employers offer 360-degree reviews from some kind of system or platform free of cost. Again, I've taken many a 360-degree reviews as the participant giving feedback as well as receiving feedback. And I've never paid for them myself. My company always paid for them. It's one of those great tools that's available. And so many companies make that investment. Just like the self-assessment, there are free alternatives to a 360-degree review. A simple online search of free 360-degree reviews will give you tons of templates from different organizations and people that you can look through and see which ones you like. You can download it and hand it out to participants, or you can email it directly to them. The only disadvantage to this is it's not anonymous, but you still get the benefit of getting feedback from your colleagues, your peers, and your team, which you can use to leverage and work on your development plan. Now, I did come across one company called Self-Stir that they offer a free online version of a 360-degree review, and their commitment is that there's no time limits, there's no commitment, and there's no fee. And so go check them out, selfstir.com, where they have a free online 360-degree assessment. This is not an affiliate link, or I'm not getting paid for this. It's just a legitimate option that you can choose. And there you go. You now have the ultimate guide to the leadership skills assessment process on your path to being a better leader. You now know what is needed for a holistic and complete assessment of your leadership skills, as well as where you can go to get it. So now it's up to you. Thank you so much for watching my video. And remember, the assessment was just the first step on the path to becoming a better manager. Once you have your assessment results, you have to do something with that information. And what you do with it is you build your personal development plan. So when you're ready to build your personal development plan, be sure to watch this video, Leadership Development Plans, How to Create a Roadmap for Success.